Hey guys, it's Mr. Amari again with another music tutorial this week. I'm going to be using the Chrome Music Labs again to be able to teach you guys a little bit about creating your own song. This week we're going to be using a different tool. We're going to be using the Arpeggio tool to be able to talk a little bit about chord progressions, what they are, and how you can use them to make really fun songs really simply. All right, let's get to the program. All right guys, so what I'm going to show you today is how you can use two different parts of the Chrome Music Lab to start building out your song that you want to make so that you can actually have more pieces than just what's available in the Song Maker. Now, if you missed my previous tutorial, you might want to look below. I'll have a link to my previous Song Maker tutorial so you can familiarize yourself with how to use this tool that you're seeing on the screen right now. What I'm going to show you how to do, though, is we're going to be using the Song Maker in conjunction with something else from the Chrome Music Lab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another tab. I'm going to do something now that if you've ever had me for Achieve 3000, you know that I am a big fan of this. I'm going to split out my tabs here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my Chrome Music Lab, the Song Maker tab. I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to pull it. And then I'm going to move it all the way to the left until you see that little outline kind of pop up. That'll give me half the screen. Then it'll ask me where I want to put my other window, and then I'm going to be able to put that on the side, and now I have them right next to each other. Now on the left side here I have a song that I've pre-prepared. It's a very simple beat with a nice little melody line to it. Nothing too fancy. It's in the key of E, so any scale I'm using is starting on an E here. Now what I'm going to do here on the right side is I'm going to pull up the Arpeggio tool. Now this Arpeggio tool, there's a lot going on here. It might look a little complicated at first. People who know music would recognize this as what's called the circle of fifths. Don't worry about any of that. All you need to know is that what we're going to do here is we're going to be selecting a note that is the start of our scale. Now, as I said, our scale was starting on an E here, right? So I'm going to select E, and that'll give me an arpeggio. That is an either ascending going up or descending going down series of notes that are in that chord. So it's all the notes that are in an E chord going up and then going down. So if I hit play, it'll play it at the tempo that's set. Now to set the tempo, you have a metronome in the bottom right corner here. Now I want my tempo to match the tempo for my song on the left. So I'm going to move this until it says 197 because that's the tempo of my song. Hit OK. So now when I play it, it plays at the tempo that my song is going to play at. Now here's the nice thing. I'm using an E scale over here. So I'm going to put the notes at the top over here where it says arpeggio. I'm going to put the notes for what's in an E major scale. What I'm going to show you now is what's called a 1-4-5 chord progression. Now, what I mean by a 1-4-5 chord progression is if we take a look at our scale that we have up here, we have each of the notes would be considered a number, 1 through 7. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our first note, which is an E, that's our 1 note. And then we're going to take our 4 note, which is the A. And then we're going to take our 5th note, which is the B. And then it comes back to the 1. That's a 1-4-5 chord progression. Most pop music, most R&B music, most rap, most anything that's on the radio, lots of rock music, uses the 1-4-5 progression, where they would play the chord, and then move to the 4, and then move to the 5, and then back to the 1. You can see how it just kind of works by using the first chord, the 4th chord, then the 5th chord in the scale. It really does give us a nice little progression moving from one chord to the next. Now the best part is I can use this underneath what I have in my Song Maker, and it'll usually sound pretty great. So if I go ahead and I start my Song Maker here, right? So if I go to my Song Maker and I start my song, you can see that the E chord sounds good underneath it arpeggiated like that. But now I can actually move through the chord progression while the loop is playing. Watch. So you can actually do like a little live performance while this is looping. You can change through the chords as you see fit. But following that 1-4-5 pattern gives you something that sounds very much like a song you might hear on the radio. It gives you a very pleasing sound. Now, one of the things I like about this arpeggio tool is it also gives us a couple of different rhythm patterns. So you'll see the rhythm patterns up here on the top. I can move it and it'll give me different rhythm patterns. So instead of having this, which is kind of your standard arpeggio going up and down, I can move it to this, which is a little more interesting, right? And so I can actually switch between the two of them as I'm playing. And then there's even more options. So if you move through them fast enough and you go through them kind of in time with the music, you can kind of do a little performance here using just the arpeggio wheel. It's a nice little creative tool to be able to use. Even better is you have two different instrument options. You have your harp, and then you also have a keyboard option, depending on the sound you want. And you can obviously match it to what you have with your song on the song maker. Now I have my song maker set to strings. You know what? Let me set it to woodwind. Let's see what that sounds like. That's interesting. And we'll try this on piano. So as you can see, just you can do quite a lot with just a few tools here. And the best part is, as you move through the circle, the relationship of 1, 4, and 5 stays consistent. Whereas if I'm looking here and this is like this is the top of my note, my 1 is here, my 4 is here, and my 5 is here. So I can always go 1, 4, 5, 1, and I have myself the chord progression I need to make a song. And so I can do the same thing here. I can start with the C, 4, 5, 1, 1, 4, 5, 1. And so it's the same thing, go to the A. 1, 4, 5, 1, 1, 4, 5, 1. And really just pick a note and you're good to go. And I can, hey, let's say I want to change the key that this is in. I change my middle E over to a B. And then I go over to find my B over here. So 1, 4, 5, 1. And then I can do the same thing. 2, 3, 4. And it just works. So a lot of creativity, a lot of things you can do with this just by using that simple 1, 4, 5 chord progression. And now this is something, if you do play your own instrument and you are familiar with music at all, you can use this to kind of build your own songs. If you play guitar, using the 1, 4, 5 chord progression would be a good way to start a song out. If you're playing something on trumpet or something on flute, knowing kind of like moving from the E to the A to the B if you're in a key of E can be helpful when writing your own music. So just a nice little set of tools here that we can use. I'm going to put links down below for this Songmaker song. I'll have the saved links so that you guys can mess around with it also, so that you can adjust it as you see fit and play along with the arpeggio thing next to it. If, of course, you have anything that you've created with this, feel free to share it below in the comments below. So if you have a link to a Songmaker song you've made, please put it in the comments below so we can take a look and share what we've been making. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I look forward to doing another one with you again next week.